Hey everyone, it's Coach Schaefer. Just wanted to talk about the season. First of all, I'd like to thank Jamie, Bert, John, and Coach K for the support they gave this year for me and also for the players. I'd also like to thank the parents for getting the kids to the games and practices and everything, and just hope that the kids thanked you as well. Special thank you to a couple of scorekeepers, Dave Kraus, of course, Megan WALZ, of course, and Mr. Gross, Casey Gross's dad. He helped us on a couple of occasions when Dave couldn't be there. So I'd like to first of all talk about the season. We had a pretty good season, 8-7, and we had a change. Of course, we had ALYSSA. She got moved up to varsity after a few games, so that was an adjustment for us to kind of get someone to fill in, and we got some help. We got a lot of 8th graders that helped us, so we really appreciate them for helping us out this season. I just want to recognize them, I guess. We'll go Lainey, Lacey, Claire, Casey, and Amaya. I just wanted to thank them for their help and being able to come when they were able to. Also to practices when they could. So as a freshman coach, we're trying to do the best we can to get them ready fundamentally. It's not about wins and losses. It's about trying to keep them engaged, trying to keep them looking forward to the upcoming seasons ahead for their career. So hopefully I've done a good job of that, and they were able to learn something from me. The main thing that we really try to do is, like I said, to help them grow as individuals on and off the court. And I think the biggest thing was when we had our game at Notre Dame. We took a different step. We stepped out of the basketball game and stepped into personal, real life stuff. We had a player that was struggling with something outside of basketball, and we basically just put the basketball aside, and we helped her in her situation. We said a prayer with her. We tried to encourage her for the things she was going through. At that time, when we went in at halftime, I didn't know what was going on. But, through her, expressing what was going on, we kind of worked through that. And I think she got a positive outcome out of that. And she felt really good once she got the update about her dad. So as the rest of the season went along, we had some injuries too. We had Elle WALZ and ELLIE WALZ. I get that mixed up every time, so I apologize. I'll just call her WALZ. We essentially, I was doing that the whole season. So hopefully we did have some injuries, and, we had everybody help step up, and we did a great job, I thought, with that. I'm not very good at this, looking at myself talking, so I apologize for that. But we overall had a very successful season. I think everybody grew together as individuals. They had their own chats going on. We had our own separate chats going on to try to communicate and everything of that nature. And I think that kind of helped us through the whole season. That's pretty much all I have for the season. I hope they enjoyed it. I hope they come back next year. And I hope once this COVID-19 stuff goes away that we're able to get together and, do some fun activities.
Season was my first with the team, and I'm so thankful that the girls and that you parents really welcomed me into the Highlands basketball program. It was a great year for these girls, and I definitely think they learned some things along the way and, of course, got better as players. Confidence is one of those big things that I think they gained. I can remember the first time we were getting ready to play Notre Dame, and all the girls talked about that week was this post player. It wasn't about the team, wasn't about the things they were going to do. It was all about this girl. Then we got into the game, and I think for the first times in their careers playing against her and this team, that they realized not only could they play with them, but they could be the aggressive ones. And that win in the season, I think, really gave the girls that spark and confidence booster that they needed for us to go into the JV tournament. So we got to beat that team again and really beat that team for the second time, and that was great for the girls. And during the semifinals, we had a little bit of adversity, and we got down 11 points. And that's usually when a team decides, are you going to fight back or are you going to quit? And after a little come to Jesus meeting in the locker room, I think these girls decided that they didn't want to quit, and so they clawed their way back, and we were able to win that game. Of course, the second bout of adversity hit, and we lost CC to her injury. right before the championship game. Talk about timing. But that game against Walton was probably my proudest moment as a coach of this team, um, because it was a dogfight back and forth till the end. The girls really stepped up to make big plays at crunch time that we needed to win. As a team, we caused several turnovers. We got steals. We were doing little things like Carissa took a charge and making free throws. Meg and Kate hit both their free throws. KJ hit a outstanding one of KJ's crazy layups at the end. And I was just super proud of this team and am super proud of this team and their season. And I really love these girls and I love who they are on and off the court. They were a blast to be around and made it really fun to coach them.
As we all know, the varsity team had a very successful year. We finished the year 21-11. It was a great year on and off the court with this group of young ladies. I really enjoy each year getting to know them and pushing them to be better athletes on the basketball court and off the court. Last summer we got a transfer into with Kelsey LISTERMAN, and summertime is where we really bond together as a team. Playing so many games at Ludlow and then going to the overnight trip to Louisville. That's where we bond a lot on and off the court, and get to know one another, and they get to see what I expect from them on the court. We had a great summer, and then I had a lot of girls that left and went to fall sports. They had successful years in the fall sports, and they came back and joined us after their season. But those girls that were with conditioning 3 days a week in the fall, and then individuals workouts and getting a lot of shots up, I can't give them enough credit. And those girls that also were in a fall sport that still found time to get shots up, it's a testament of their hard work that they do have. We started the preseason with two scrimmages. We did well, and I think it showed the girls how good we could be. And then we went to we opened the season with St. Henry, had a nice win, and then the next day we had Princeton, but unfortunately we didn't do too well. We're without Piper, who was taking a test that Saturday morning. And then we had some other wins, and we went into the Christmas tournament, and I think this past Christmas was probably, basketball-wise, probably a Christmas break that most of the girls would like to forget at the varsity level. We didn't do too well in our two tournaments, but we went to Lexington Catholic, great bonding time off the court. We had to do the Ouija board every second we were in that hotel. They, had to go see if the ghosts were up. They went searching for different rooms in that hotel, and then also the different TikToks. They were pretty good at TikToks too. And then we had a lot of come to Jesus talks after games over that Christmas break, because as a coaching staff we knew the girls could do it. We just had to get them to do it out on the court together. Someone to step up and take charges and be the one that goes and gets the rebound instead of relying on someone else. And I think first of the year, at that time we were 4-6. We were a little, as a team we were concerned, but we knew we just had to keep working. And, we had some really good competitive practice that really helped. So first of the year we opened up with Boyd County down at Franklin County, and we just lost to Boyd about 2 weeks earlier in the Lex Cath tournament. So we came and had a nice win against them, and had a really next game. I think it was Indian Hill. And they had really two really good players, and we were able to get a nice win against them. So I think after those two wins, the girls realized, hey, we can compete, we can win games, and they started believing in each other and trusting the process, which was awesome to see. February wasn't so nice to us. That's when the injury started. We had KENZIE that hurt her knee in the down at Lex Catholic tournament. That was just devastating for all of us to see, because it was just a gut injury that we all knew, and we didn't want her to go through it again. But I can't say enough good things about KENZIE and her attitude. She's played basketball all her life. In the past 2 years she's had season-ending injuries, and for someone that's had one like that, it sucks. But her attitude has been unbelievable with the team. Her work ethic to get back on the field and court is unbelievable, and that just says a lot about KENZIE. But, like I was saying, February, we had Emma go down with an injury. Then we had Cece. And then we had Anna with a concussion. I don't know if I'm forgetting someone else or not. But so February was very hard on us, just with injuries. But, the girls that we did had, they did everything we asked them to do. We had a nice win in the district tournament, a little revenge win against NC, who had beat us in the regular season the first time in a while. But I think the highlight of that game was the wrong way play, and when we scored on that, I think that was awesome. And just the reaction on the bench and reaction on the court, it was fun to see, and always beating them in the finals is a great thing. Unfortunately, we had a not so nice draw again, and we did all we could against Connor. We got down there in the second half, but we came back and we were right there, and with some big shots that some of our girls were able to make. But I hope the girls enjoyed the season and saw what hard work can do, and never give up. That was one thing we always kept on telling girls, was never give up. And we had a guest speaker come in and talk about the mental aspect of things, and I think that helped the girls too. But overall, it was a great year. We had a lot of fun on and off the court, and it'll be one year that I think definitely a season that we will all remember.
Hey, this is about Megan CALME. She was also part of our team this year, and I really enjoyed coaching her. She was very quiet, but also very effective. She did the little things out there on the court for us that we needed. It may have been, being in the right place, defense, whatever it may have been. She did an excellent job for us as a forward. She had her best game against St. Henry with 6 points. And I really like to see her get a little bit more confident in herself and her shot. She wouldn't shoot when she was open, and when she did shoot, it was a very good shot. So hopefully she can take that and utilize that over her next couple years here with Highlands. And I was also glad to see how she was resilient in certain situations. She came through in clutch situations for us down the stretch in a couple games. And I really was glad to see how she performed. Rebounding was great. Her ball handling was improving. And like I said, we're all about, instructional fundamentals, and I could see progression, and that's the goal, is to help the kids, get to the point where they feel confident in what they're doing out there on the court. And I thought from Megan that she was able to do the things we need to do. She worked hard in practice, and she was really a joy to coach. And I just wanted to thank her for that, and thank you. Now it's time to talk about EHRMAN. Elle was on our team, and of course she was part of the ELLE mix-up that I had all season. So I really appreciate her efforts out there this year. She was a strong contributor to us both on the court and off the court. From a coach's perspective, a great team player. She didn't score all the points. She didn't have all the rebounds. She didn't have, all the defensive stops, but she was consistent. She had great effort when she was on the court, and she was very enthusiastic. So I was appreciative of that and how she performed on the team for the entire season. She had her best game in our freshman regional tournament game against Boone County. She had 8 points, which was a great sight to see, because later in the season you could see how she developed from the beginning till almost to the end. So I was very thankful for her, that effort she performed and the contribution she provided to our team. I look forward to seeing how she's going to succeed here in the next few years at Highlands, and I wish her well and I wish her luck. And I enjoyed, coaching her and the things that she did for our program. Thank you very much, Elle, and have a great day. Now I'm going to talk about Carly CRAMER. She played forward and center for us this year. She did a great job at that. She was very tall, taller than most kids on the court there, and basically what I was asking her to do is just to slow down a little bit. She kind of just rushed her shot a couple times, and it didn't always go in for her, but she was a hard-nosed kid. She wouldn't take anything from anybody and just played her tail off. She's going to be a great asset for Highlands basketball. over these next 3 years. She just has to put in the work, working on her size, working on her strength, her speed, her agility. Those simple things will help her be very successful in the post for us. She averaged 6.7 points a game. She had her best game against Ryle with 11. And like I said, she was just very hard to reach on the court. I had to have someone else to get her attention, but that was okay. I mean, that's just part of who she was and how she is. But I was glad to be able to see her grow from the beginning of the season to the end. It seemed like she got better as the season progressed. And you can see from her stats as well, the rebounding, the defensive and offensive rebounding was very good for us. She really did a nice job executing plays, running down the court. And like I said, she was pretty good on defense too. I appreciate Carly CRAMER, and I enjoyed working with her and hope to see how well she does the next few years at Highlands. Thank you. Now I'm going to talk about ELLIE WALZ. I did get that right this time, so I get some kudos for that, I guess. ELLIE was a great player for us. She was basically our leader. Wherever and however hard she played is how the team went. She did have an injury, head injury there for a few games, and she was out, but she did come back strong. She averaged about 7.9 points a game when she was in, and like I said, she is just a different player. If she puts in the effort, she can be very successful. I'm just so proud to be able to coach her, and we got through our differences, of course, but we got to the point where she was able to just run the show out there with the kids and just help them in the places they need to be and really tried to stay focused. Even with the younger ones, she kind of mentored them, and that was a nice thing to see. She didn't really have any ill will towards anyone. She played very well. I enjoyed her athleticism. I enjoyed her shooting ability. She just needed to have confidence in herself, and that's where she's going to get better. The more she works at it, the harder she works at it. If she does ASAP, I don't know if she will follow in her sister's footsteps, but if she does ASAP, she essentially will become an elite player at Highlands. I can see that. It's just up to her to decide if she wants to do that. Again, ELLIE is a great kid. Like I said, in that situation we had in the locker room, she was very encouraging, very emotional as well to help her teammate. So she'll do anything for her teammates on and off the court. And ELLIE WALZ, I'm very proud to be able to say that you had a successful year and you did everything you could to help us be successful, and I thank you for that.
Carissa is one of the girls that always has a smile on her face, so you may not actually realize how tough that girl is. She battled injuries from the beginning of the year to the end of the season. At the beginning of the season, she really struggled with bad shin splints. And if you've ever had shin splints, you know that that's pretty brutal. But she kept fighting through it, and she kept practicing with us and continued to run. And at the end of the season, she sprained her hand, and unfortunately that injury kept her out the last few games. But even though she had all of these injuries, she still had that same smile on her face. Carissa is a good outside shooter. She hit 3 threes in our game against Holmes. But she's maybe little, but she's not afraid to go in and rebound with the big girls inside. Carissa is very competitive. She affectionately started calling me Mom this year. So, daughter, thanks for letting me be your basketball mom this season. Jasmine is one of the girls that I think improved a ton over the course of this season. In the beginning of the year, she was using her right hand for every single post move that she made, even on the left side. And after she found out that that wasn't the case and that they were no different than left-handed layups, she really took initiative and started focusing on using her left hand every single time in practice. Spent extra time even asking me to stay with her, working on that left hand to get better. She always sought out that extra time for help, and by the end of the season, it showed. We were down CC in the JV championship game, and Jasmine really stepped up and helped us hold down the inside defensively, and even had some really key layups for us against Walton's big girl. and she's not a bad post player. So I know that this offseason, Jasmine's going to continue to work on her post moves, and I'm anxious to see how she improves for next season. One of my favorite things about Meg as a player is her defensive intensity and her aggressiveness. Now, granted, there might have been times when I had to pull her out of a game because I was concerned for the girl's life she was guarding. Meghan is for sure one of the first people that I would pick to take with me into a fight. I could always count on her to give 100% on defense and offense, and if we needed a steal, I knew that Meghan was the girl to get the job done. Even if that meant her staying in foul trouble, I never had to worry about effort with her. She always gave 110%. We were sharing Meghan with club soccer for most of the season, but you'd never know it. She was still going full speed in practice and at games, going to soccer and then coming to basketball and vice versa. And Meghan, I really appreciate your dedication and your effort and your work with basketball this season. And I think by the end of the season, that really showed that you got a lot better as a player. Unfortunately for Macy, she had a back injury that kept her out for most of this season. So while Macy may have not have gotten to practice or play with us this year, other than the free throws at the end of practice that we do, Macy can tell you how well those went, or the other girls who I'm sure are probably laughing at that comment. She was still at every practice, knowing that she wouldn't see any court time this season. And I think that says so much about Macy and her commitment to this team. You know, it's hard to go a whole year and continue to show up every single day knowing that, you know, to a certain extent, it doesn't matter in the short term. But I do think that it does matter in the long term, and it's put Macy in a good spot to come back and to play basketball next year and to be strong and healthy and have a good season. KJ. Oh, KJ. KJ is probably the funniest person on our team. And I'm either usually laughing at her or I'm shaking my head at her. If you miss KJ's bench celebrations during the varsity tournament, highly recommend that you have your daughter show them to you on Huddle. They are too good, and they're a great indicator of who KJ is as a person and as a teammate. She's very unselfish, is never concerned about KJ, and is always looking to support, you know, and cheer on her teammates. A lot of times a little too unselfish, and we'd have to tell KJ, you know, look to score when you get the ball. At the end of the season, we had KJ focus on taking the ball to the basket at full speed, and she had an opportunity where that seriously paid off. She had a breakaway layup with us only up 3 points and made it off balance and with contact and kind of to the side and in a crazy way that only KJ crazy happens. And it went in, and it put us in a place where we were up and, you know, gave us control of that game and really helped us win that game. And so I'm excited to see how KJ develops in this off season and next season, and to see the player that she becomes next year.
ALYSSA during the year averaged 1.9 points a game, 1.9 rebounds a game. Some people say everybody's best ability is their availability. ALYSSA was available for us all year long, appearing in all 32 games. She had a high game of 9 points versus West Carter. She tied a single game high of 6 assists during the year with several of her teammates. Her game happened to be versus Cooper. She had a top game performance-wise during the year versus Indian Hills. She had 5 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. Throughout the year, ALYSSA showed her toughness and her grit, and it was never more evident than in a thrilling overtime win that we had as a team against Notre Dame. She stepped up to the line in this tight situation and knocked down 5 of 6 free throws, proving to her and to others that no moment and no pressure situation was going to be too big for ALYSSA all year long. Having been thrust into that role of a starting point guard as a freshman is not an easy situation, and one that she succeeded at time and time again in learning and continuing to grow. One of the things that I found in thinking of ALYSSA and our team was a saying from a gentleman, businessman in the late 50s, that is a similar saying that you've heard several times. But no individual can be good at everything. Everyone needs people around them who have complementary skills. And for us to be good at everything, we needed the complementary skills that Alyssa had. And for that reason, she was a big part of our success into this 20-win-plus season.
I hit dingers. Still think about that in practice and in games. Every time she would shoot and make a three, I would always say, I hit dingers. Anna's a fabulous softball player, if you didn't know, and she brings that same competitiveness to the basketball court. She's a fabulous leader. Every time in practice, she would be the one you would hear over everybody else, encouraging them to fight through when we may be running a lot of sprints or at the start of practice to get people going. She was the vocal leader. It seemed like I heard her voice more than anybody's this year. She used that leadership to lead the JV team to the regional championship, running the point. Had a lot of great plays in the championship game, but all the way through the whole JV regional tournament. She had an awesome game against Holy Cross. Tons of great steals and passes. Got us going in that game. She always competes. Anna's always ready when you call on her to go in. She loves to get out there, like I said, and throw those long baseball passes. She always has her head up looking for a teammate. She's a great teammate. When she was out, she still sat on the sideline and she would cheer her teammate and still be that same vocal leader that she was when she was out there playing to try to help her teammates.
CC for us on the varsity level averaged 2.1 points a game and 1.6 points a game while appearing in 19 games during the year. During her year, spending most of her playing time on the floor as a member of the junior varsity basketball team at Highlands. Her high school career at the varsity level had high games versus Newport with 11.6 rebounds, Boone County 8 points, 5 rebounds, Campbell County 4 points, 5 rebounds. During the year, within the month of February, she and her teammates went on to win the 9th region, or tri-region, being teams from the 8th, 9th, and 10th region, JV tournament MVP, as she was provided that award at the end of the tournament, after having helped her team to secure a tournament title. What was important to see for us and hopefully for CC is, as I mentioned, her season totals were 2.1 points and 1.6 rebounds a game. Her last 6 games at the varsity level, she had averaged 4.5 points and 3.5 rebounds a game. So you can see, as we could see, her improvement was happening on the floor over and over and over. From the hard work that she had put in with Kayla and the rest of the post players and the individual drills that they were performing, that was being executed on the floor on a daily basis and improving her game time in and time out, and especially later on in the year. Unfortunately, CC's season was cut short due to an injury, but one of the things that, in thinking of CC's year for me, was quote, usually thought of for those who have had a sidetrack. And I'd like to remind CC that difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. And for that reason, CC, we're all excited to see where your destination ends up. Heal strong, heal fast, and heal quickly. But at the same time, do what the doctors say.
KENZIE NEHUS. What a great attitude. You know, she starting at the around Christmas time, and sure enough, she hurt her ACL, tore ACL for the second time. But there's one thing about this kid. Her attitude is unbelievable. I told her, I said, Kenz, I'm so sorry this happened to you. And she said, it's okay. I'll come back again. And she just smiled. Every single day, she always had that smile. She was there to pick her teammates up. She would sit on the sideline and she would cheer for them, tell them good job, try to keep them upbeat and working hard. She knew that even though she couldn't be out there, it was her job to make sure that she could be the best teammate she could be and get those other kids to be the best players they could be. Kelsey was a complete all-around player. She was second on the team in rebounding. She was second on the team in points per game. She led the team in free throw percentage at 81.8%. She's really smart, heady player, competitor. She would fight every time on defense. She took a lot of pride in her defense this year. Every time that there was a chance for her to come up with a big steal, it seemed like she came up with that steal. She had an unbelievable game against Rowan County. I think she had 27 points. She didn't miss a 2-point field goal in that whole game. She missed 1 3. After the game, their coach was like, holy cow, she is unbelievable. But that wasn't her main focus during the game. She didn't take a lot of bad shots. She wasn't out there to get points. She was out there to make sure that we had our best opportunity to win the game. She would do anything that night, whether it be defense, whether it be rebounding, whether it be scoring points. All Kelsey really cared about was being a great teammate and making sure that we had our best chance to win. Emma was a great three-point shooter this year. She shot 40% from the three-point line. She was a great defender. She used her long arms to get a lot of deflections, which led to steals for her and her teammates. She caused a lot of problems for the other team when we would go to our press. She was very aggressive and did an awesome job at getting those deflections and steals to help us win. She had a great game against Holy Cross. She made a couple 3-pointers, which helped us blow that game open. Some people call her Farm Girl. Well, Farm Girl loved to block shots. John and I would tell her all the time, Emma, block shots. Just go do it. Use those long arms, jump up, block shots, block shots. Jane would yell at her, stop blocking shots, stop blocking shots. And of course, in the Boone County game, Emma goes up to block a shot and unfortunately comes down and breaks her leg. The moral of the story, Jamie is always right. So make sure you listen to Jamie. Emma did a great job. She would cheer for her teammates that game. She had a broken leg. She still sat over there and jumped up and down and cheered. In the district against Newcath, she wanted to win. She cheered and hopped up and down, and she was just a great teammate. Even though she couldn't be out there playing, she gave it everything she could to try to get her team going.
Emma RICCOBENE, or also known as Emma R for most of us. During the year at the varsity level, Emma R obtained the averages of 4.7 points a game, 3.4 rebounds a game, 1.5 assists per game. She, as ALYSSA and RORY, played in all 32 games for the Highlands varsity team this year. She was third on the team in total rebounds. She was third on the team in free throw percentage with a percentage of 71.7%. She was fourth on the team in assists, fourth on the team in steals with 36. And she had top games against Beechwood, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Newport Central Catholic in the district finals, in which she elevated her game for 10 points and 5 rebounds and 1 assist. With that performance, it helped her to earn to become a member of the 36th District All-Tournament team. What I've always known about Emma is she's a big game player, and it was even more evident this year. As mentioning before, her statistical average for the year of 4.7 points, 3.4 rebounds, 1.5 assists. For her tournament average for our 3-game postseason run, she averaged 6.3 points, 2.6 rebounds, and doubled her assist average to 3. I've always known Emma to be, as I mentioned, a big game player, and the situation doesn't faze her. During the year, she had a lot of frustration in regards to her shot and trying to figure out where her situation can fit in, what it is that she can do to make herself more valuable to the team, as well as to become an immediate impact to the team on consistent and a daily basis. One of the things that I thought about for you, Emma, as we had talked about during the year with your shot and a three-point shot and when you can work on those and when you can take them, is ultimately a smart aleck quote that I heard from a good friend of mine, Charles Barkley. And Charles Barkley, this goes for Emma and the others, once said to me, the difference between a good shot or a bad shot, Emma, is if it went in or not. If it goes in, it's a good shot, Emma. So I would tell you to keep that in mind as a joke, but at the same time, any shot that anybody wants to work on, understand the game, time, situation, and continue to work to strive to make yourself a better shooter each and every day. For all those reasons, and for the numbers that Emma was able to possess and her will and drive to become a better player, we're excited to see what Emma turns into for her senior year, as it will be her turn and time to shine. During the year, Rory O'Hara averaged 7 points, 4.3 rebounds a game. As Emma and ALYSSA had performed, Rory also did all 32 games, making herself available to her teammates. She was second on the team with 2-point field goals made at 69. She was third on the team with free throws made. She led the team in rebounding this year with 138. She was third on the team with steals with 49. She had several great games. A few of the highlighted ones were Cooper with 15 points, 2 rebounds. Our first meeting with Newport Catholic, 10 points, 7 rebounds. Our meeting with Ryle at Ryle, 9 points, 6 rebounds. But she is also a big game player, as proven by her numbers in postseason. Her postseason tournament games, she averaged 10 points, 4 rebounds, increasing upon her points per game average by 3 and maintaining her rebound average at 4. With this performance throughout the year, she was included on the 36th District All-Tournament team, as she was also nominated postseason as Northern Kentucky Division II Coaches Association first team member. One of the things that strikes you about Rory is her ability to have been prepared physically for each and every night. Rory is one of those that I think about when you read a certain quote that says, if you want to look good in front of thousands, then you have to outwork thousands in front of nobody. Rory, through her physical fitness, has always been the leader on this team. She comes in and out consistently, finishing first in most every drill that we do. Her effort and her tenacity to do the dirty work inside is unmatched, and one that is consistent. What I would say is that for Rory, looking into her senior year, it's her time. It's her situation that she can dictate and make for herself. Physically, she has put herself in a position to take over the leadership role, and we're excited to see where she can take that.
Kate was the only junior on our JV squad this year, and she really stepped up to be the leader of our team that we needed. Always Open Kate is generally how she's referred to. She has a knack for getting herself wide open and setting herself up for some wide open shots. And her preferred strength is just that, shooting the ball. However, when we needed someone to run the point, Kate was up for the job, and we knew the ball was safe with her. She has a great 3-point shot, and she knows when to shoot, but she also knows when to pass up the shot for a better one. She's a great teammate in that regard and was a great teammate in varsity games too. leading the pack, getting water for those on court, coming in and getting some great minutes during the games as well. Kate, I'm excited for your senior season next year, and as I always called you before our pregame officials meeting, can't wait to watch you dominate.
Our next senior is Maggie HINEGARDNER, also known as Margaret or HINEGARDNER. Whatever we needed to yell for her to hear us on the bench. Maggie had a great senior year on the basketball court. She had a disappointing soccer season, with getting hurt in the summer, but she worked hard and was able to get healthy enough to finish soccer season, but also have a full, healthy season on the basketball court, which was great to see. I know, that phone call in July, we were both a little nervous for her, and if, she'd be able to get back on the field or the court, but she, did a great job of rehabbing and was able to finish her athletic career at Highlands on the basketball court on a great note. We have a little saying with Margaret, shoot or shoot. She always had the green light to shoot the ball as long as her feet were set. We felt that she was probably one of the best shooters in the region. She finished this year shooting 41% from the three-point line. We won't mention her free throw percentage because she did not have a good year shooting free throws, and she would get so frustrated. I'll never forget one game that she wanted to go to the gym and shoot 100 free throws. So we went back to the gym, shot, and she made 100 free throws. So that's a kind of dedication she had to the game. She, wanted to get better. She let her teammates down, and that game was a free throw that she missed. That she wanted to get into the gym and get better. She was a great teammate, great leader on and off the court. It was someone that the other girls on the team trusted, could go to if they needed help. But, they also saw that she would be one of the first ones in the gym getting shots up before every practice. So we're going to miss Margaret, but we wish her the best of luck going to Hanover and playing soccer. Piper Mackey, she's been playing varsity since her sophomore year here at Highlands. A little fun fact about Piper is she's an outstanding violinist player. Piper had a great senior year. She started off with a career high of 27 points in her win against Scott. And that was the first game where there was a lot of unknowns, and Piper stepped up and led us to a win, against a good opponent against Scott. This year, Piper led us in points at 12 points a game, led us also in steals. Probably one of our better on-the-ball defenders. She has quick hands that could get a lot of steals from opponents when they would dribble in front of her. Very hard worker that would put in a lot of time on her own without people knowing she did. But, as a coaching staff, we know that she was in the gym getting lots of extra shots up. Because she wanted to have a great senior year, and I really felt that she did have a great senior year. A great passer that sometimes can make some crazy passes, but they work. I'll never forget the one pass that she made at Beechwood. It would have been a Sports Center top 10 play without a doubt, but our teammate just didn't make the shot, but I won't mention it. But that pass where she got that steal and just did a behind the back pass at half court, I think it was a one bounce and it was a perfect pass. But Piper was a great passer also. She's going to go on to George Washington. I know she'll do great things. She hasn't decided if she's going to play basketball or not, but whatever she decides to do, she's going to be great at it, and we wish Piper the best of luck. When I think of RYLEE, I think of a team player. Unfortunately, she missed the majority of her season with a bad foot that kept her out almost the whole season until probably the last month. But she is the ultimate teammate. I can't say enough of great things about RYLEE, as she came to every one of those practices. Once soccer was over, all the way until the end of the year, she was at every practice. Practices that she couldn't even practice in. She was there with a good attitude, encouraging her teammates and, doing whatever we would need, maybe keeping the clock or, making passes to post players. But RYLEE, she's been with us ever since 6th grade here in the Highlands basketball program, and it's been awesome to see her blossom into an outstanding young lady off the court. It has a contagious laugh. I can always count on a joke from her about my mom. She'll say something about your mom. So RYLEE, I hope your mom is doing great. So that was our little inside joke that we always do. But, once Rylee got, on, she was able to play some games. She came in and gave it her all. We could always count for, to bang against post players, which we love to see. And, never forget the Beechwood game, one of her first games where she saw a lot of minutes this year, and she just couldn't buy a basket. And she was getting so frustrated, and, finally we got her to calm down, and she finally made one. But, I'm going to miss Rylee and her sense of humor, her work ethic, and we wish her the best of luck next year playing soccer. We love you, Rat.
Megan WALZ is our last senior. She's been with the high school program since her 8th grade year when she played freshman with Coach Finnegan. She had a great high school career on the basketball court and off the court. I would say, this year she really took the concept of being the mom of the group, making sure that, everybody was included if they were doing things, maybe going to the football game together, going to the boys' basketball game, or just hanging out. She always made sure everybody was included. I noticed that last spring and in the summer and the fall when, just trying to get the ASAP workouts organized, she was the go-to person that would get everything organized and make sure, Kelsey, our new transfer, was, included in all those things too. On the basketball court, she improved tremendously from her 8th grade year all the way to her senior year. She was one of our best players, post players that could make post moves, that can, score. We always joked around with her that we thought maybe she was left-handed because she always went to the left. She did her up under and went to the left. But, she had some big games this year. She hit a big shot. She gave us great minutes in her win against Connor during the regular season. She made a huge 3. She came off the bench and gave us some good minutes in the district finals against NC when she made those huge free throws at the end of the game when her teammates were having issues making free throws. She stepped up to the free throw line and had confidence, and I think she would say she was shaking a little bit, but she came through for the team and made 2 big free throws to help us win that game after Rory fouled out that game. Megan had a great senior year, and we wish her the best of luck going to NKU.